Well, hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. Yes, this is Jason, the Canadian YouTube creator, as you can see by my cool hat, but also known as Jason Cosmic. Where's my shirt? Jason Cosmic RSSP Authority. RSSP, you present subscribers, you guys know, but for my newbies out there, stands for Real Secret Space Program, way up there in space, and as I always say, way, way deep in space, as you can see, represented by my powerful photo in the infrared, taken by the Hubble telescope, which says, infrared photograph of one of the gigantic cylindrical objects taken by the Hubble all the way in the rings of Saturn. And if you guys watch some of my videos in the past, I show you several reasons we can know that is staffed by U.S. naval officers. That's right, amazing technology. But you know, today, my friends, I want to start off on a series of exposing, I believe, the dirty players that are associated with ufology and therefore military UFOs and the secret space program, the real secret space program. Let's expose some of the dirty players that I believe the CIA puts out there to distract the public. And some people that have just chosen to sell their souls and distract the public. One of the guys, my friends, that he's definitely sold his soul in my opinion, and he knows it, is Bob Lazar. Bobby, you know Bob Lazar? The guy that had his first interview starting in 1985. And he was pushed very hard. If you guys recall, George Knapp even admitted, remember the famous journalist George Knapp, who now has a new career on Coast to Coast Radio the last several years, right? George Knapp admitted that he pushed Bob Lazar to go ahead with the story. You know, journalists, they just love to hop on a story and try to get famous. Well, that's what George Knapp has done. And in my opinion, my friends, the fact that George Knapp, he sold his soul too by pushing out Bob Lazar with his ridiculous stories. Again, distracting the public, us, my friends, from what's really going on with the U.S. intel agencies. George Knapp knows exactly what he's done. Here's fat ass George Knapp. Excuse my language. George Knapp needs to work out, in my opinion. He should hire me as his personal trainer. But here he is, sitting in a conference here, with none other than Jeremy Corbell. Now, Jeremy Corbell, this guy here with the long beard, he doesn't even look after his beard and his appearance, in my opinion, not like me. But no, Jeremy Corbell, this guy tries to sound intelligent as well. My friends, in my opinion, he doesn't seem very intelligent. And this guy is he's just fame hungry, man. It's like entertainment porn for this guy. He's trying to get his name out there. And what does he do? He pushes and does a documentary on this fraud. Again, in my opinion, Bob Lazar, it's very clear. This guy has been a fraud and mostly a liar for decades, my friends. And Jeremy Corbell is doing a documentary on this guy? Are you kidding me? And, you know, Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp and the journalists and all these ufologists out there, you know what they do? And Jeremy Corbell epitomizes this. They always hyperbolize and sensationalize the vague uncertainty of UFOs. And they never, you know, it's unfathomable to me, my friends, inexplicable to me, why these guys never use the term military UFOs. You notice that? Bob Lazar's never used the correct term either. This guy has been an absolute joke. Remember, his story, he even said this in the documentary, I believe, it's always been, he said, oh, well, you know, he was working at S4, Area 51 or whatever, and, you know, and even if he did work at S4, my friends, it's inconsequential because his whole story is the CIA playbook. The CIA, or Navy intelligence, they hired this guy to be just basically a disinformation agent and to distract the public. I'm convinced of it, my friend, because this guy tells you he was in hangars and he saw alien craft. He says that they weren't mock-ups, that they were alien UFOs, like from another star system, he said, from another world. They weren't mock-ups. Are you kidding me? How the hell would Bob Lazar even know? You see where? That's the CIA playbook, my friends. they always want to spin it for ET. That's how you could know that he's a CIA asset, you know? And sometimes you're a CIA asset and you don't even know it. Obviously, Bob Lazar knows. He sold his soul, my friends. I mean, it's disgraceful. Because this guy's living in Las Vegas, no less. Same with George Knapp, my friends. Fat-ass George Knapp. They're living in Las Vegas, where, remember, the interviews from George Knapp and Bob Lazar, that was started in 1985. That is the time frame where you had financial fraud, as I always describe, on an industrial scale, and right in their own backyard in Las Vegas, my friends. So my point is, why isn't George Knapp, he's supposed to be a man of integrity and a great journalist, why isn't he discussing the missing trillions? Like Catherine Austin Fitts, who was the secretary under HUD, Housing and Urban Development, shows you got $21 trillion missing since 1998. She's analyzed and looked at the black budget, this financial expert. George Knapp could have did something similar and talked about the missing trillions from the federal government. He could have talked about real serious issues and real technology associated with the real secret space program, right? Especially Bob Lazar as well. Bob Lazar, he wants you to think that he knows a lot about technology. He talks about anti-gravity. Do you notice when he talks about technology, do you ever hear him mentioning the word plasma? Do you ever hear him talking about how the black triangles, the TR3B, rotate plasma? No, he never mentions it, okay? By the way, guys, if you, just a quick reminder, if you do appreciate my intellectual honesty, because I'm trying to be bold, honest, open, and true, and from the heart, really. I'm trying to help provide the much needed sufficient transparency with you guys together and being advocates for the truth and break down the walls of this crazy elite secrecy and shunning some of these dirty players, because it's so important, especially if we want ethical leadership. If you guys appreciate my efforts and just enjoy my videos in general, please don't hesitate to subscribe. I hope you'll give me the thumbs up as well, and feel free to share my videos and leave a comment, all right? Now, continuing on here, my friends, do you hear Bob Lazar? Does he ever talk about the black triangles that have been in vogue the last few decades? The TR3B that comes out of the Aurora space program? No, he never talks about it. He never talks about the massive cigar-shaped craft that is actually from the same... Remember, Bob Lazar got his checks from Navy intelligence. He tells you that, from the Navy, right? Well, guess what? The massive cigar-shaped craft that are, some of them are as big as small cities that are deep in space. This is not fake photos, my friends. This is at least 1.5 miles to 2 miles. That is operated by the Navy, my friends. Do you ever hear Bob Lazar talking about that? No, of course not. He has no noble intentions. He's not trying to penetrate the black budget technology for us like myself or Michael Schratt, the great aerospace historian. Both of us have made it our life goals to do that, my friends, to try to show you the real truth, to try and unpack as much truth as we can on this free energy, because it is, my friends, it will revolutionize the world once we can get more truth on it and get our hands, our divine right to this free energy. Bob Lazar doesn't talk about any of the important issues like that with the real secret space programs going on, my friends. That's why you can know he's a fraud, he's a liar in my opinion, and he's distracted millions of people for years, my friends. And George Knapp's responsible too, as I say, for putting them out. That's why I get so exasperated, my friends. This is such an important subject, right? It's the most important subject of our times, I believe, for no other reason than these free energy generation propulsion systems, my friends, that will get us off stinky oil and gas right away. We won't need surface roads. We haven't needed any of this for 50 to 60 years at least, right? And it'll get us off just on so much, my friends. We're going to have total free energy. This is clean energy coming from the ether of the space, the 0 point, okay? So keep that in mind. And so that's why I get exasperated, my friends, and other people should be deeply frustrated at frauds like this, okay? Don't buy into the distractions. This has just been a U.S. psyop largely, putting out more dirty players like this, my friends, to distract the public. And you notice George Knapp, he even sung the high praises of Luis Elizondo, the former counterintelligence officer, right? Here he is. Excuse me, my friends, I'm going to bring his picture into view. Remember? The guy who's, He's one of the spokesperson for the TTSA. Remember, To the Stars Academy with Tom DeLonge, the burned out rock star? Well, George Knapp was singing his high praises. So George Knapp is basically, in my opinion, I think he's become a CIA asset. And again, he's chosen to do this and selling his soul. Here's Tom DeLonge, right? He was the former spokesperson for the TTSA. And my buddy Joe from the Carolinas, my YouTube buddy, the likes of Dark Journalist, Walter Bosley, and many other people in the alternative community, we proved that Luis Elizondo is mostly just a liar. And he's trained to lie, my friends. And we proved that TTSA is just an orchestrated strategic distraction. And I worded it is a U.S. psyop, my friends. There is no noble intentions to get us any closer to these free energy generation propulsion systems, my friends. And Luis Elizondo, he's there to lie to you. And I caught him in bold-faced lies. So the point is, my friends, George Knapp is singing high praises of literally CIA guys. I mean, come on. So, but back to Bob Lazar, my friends. Bob Lazar, again, he's a bad joke, and he has been from day one. Whenever you spin it for ET on such an important subject, then you know he's selling his soul, my friends. And in future videos, we're going to talk about the likes of Stephen Greer. I did a series on him before. We're going to do it again, my friends, on this serious disclosure. Remember, they've had over 1.6 billion views on Netflix. This is why we got to talk about a guy like Stephen Greer, who's another dirty player, I believe, my friends. And he's just involved more in the U.S. psychological operations, another psyop, to distract you, the public out there, from what's really going on, again, within the U.S. intel agencies and within the UFO flying programs. They don't want you to know about the free energy and these amazing military UFOs that are up in space, my friends, okay? And deep in space as well, all over our solar system, and doing major production on the moon and Mars. That's the cover-up, my friends, and it's disgraceful. Because as you know, as I told you, right in Bob Lazar's own backyard, he should be talking about the missing trillions that was going on and continues to do so. He should be talking about the theft of trillions of dollars, raiding taxpayers. Do you know? Bob Lazar never talks about the important issues, my friends. You notice that? Like I said. And that's why you can know he sold his soul. And he's been disgraceful. Okay? So thank you very much for listening, my friends. We've got to expose these dirty players. You know, because it's crucial if we want to take the right evolutionary path, I believe, and ultimately, you know, looking at the truth, right? And sustaining and growing a culture to have ethical leadership, my friends. You've got to show the crowd the dirty players. And you've got to know, my friends, a lot of times it's elements of the CIA that are putting these guys out. There's no question about it. And we just got to be aware. We need a whole new awareness campaign, as I always say, over the U.S. intel agencies, my friends. Okay? And every powerful country is going to have their own intel agencies. All right? Thanks very much again for being gracious with your times today, my friends. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. I want to grow this channel and sell my t-shirts. I've got several subscribers interested in some of my shirts, and I'm very thankful. I want to make enough money to sell my shirts. So let's grow this channel. I need your support, my friends, okay? And together, my friends, like I said, we can break down the walls of this crazy elite secrecy once and for all and get the real truth on what's happening within the real secret space programs out there. And my buddy Joe from the Carolinas, hi Joe, he's doing an awesome job as well. I appreciate his work and his support. And I hope you guys will check out my series on the F-35 that I've done too, really giving a hard assessment of Lockheed Martin's scam on the taxpayers. But remember, my friends, the likes of Bob Lazar, he's mostly been a fraud and a liar, okay? And he's just largely there to distract the public, okay? No noble intentions. Take care, my friends. Have a great day. Bye.